Hey, and welcome to Trail Trials, a video review section of iRunFar.com. My name is Travis Lyles, and in this video we're going to take a look at the Forerunner by Patagonia. New for 2012 is the Patagonia Forerunner. This is a 9-ounce shoe for a men's size 9 and a 7 3/4 ounce for the women's. It has a low drop, 9mm to 5mm, making for a 4mm drop total, and a very lightweight upper. Let's get up close and personal and take a look at this. So let's start off by talking about the outsole of the shoe. What you'll notice is a very consistent lug pattern across the entire shoe, with the only difference being you have forward-facing lugs in the front and rear-facing lugs in the back, helping you with climbs up those hills and giving you some break here in the back when going downhill. This is a relatively thick rubber outsole here. I'm not aware of a rock plate in here, haven't seen any literature on that, and I would just guess by the flexibility and such of this shoe that it's probably not there, but this outsole is thick enough that it's going to get in the way of most of those things that might puncture through the shoe. This is nothing more than just a picture or a design on the shoe, so this isn't a opening that goes right to the midsole, because it is the same color as the midsole, but it's just kind of a stripe on the bottom of the shoe here. Sticky rubber, low profile lugs. I'd rate this probably in the middle in terms of traction that you're going to get from this. When we go to the midsole of the shoe, what you're going to notice is just the one single red color all the way around, and a very flat heel, so not really pronation control, not aiding in supination, just a flat basic midsole here. 9mm at the heel, 5mm at the midfoot for your ride height, for an overall 4mm drop. Looking at the midsole, there's not any visible things that are put in place to control movement of your foot, pronation control, stability, nothing like that. The only thing I would say is that here in this arch area, the shoe is sort of built up just a little bit to add a little bit of that roundedness here to fit underneath your arch, which gives it a nice fit, but it's not pushing up on the arch or anything like that, so definitely not adding a ton of arch support. When we move to the upper, we can see that it's a very simple upper, and lots of mesh across the whole thing. So you have this gray mesh, and then you have this sort of suede looking overlays on top of it. With that said, none of the overlays add into the actual structure or stability of the upper. So there's not any connection points that anchor these laces, to the midsole that you see on a lot of other shoes out there, kind of keeping that wrap feel. With that said, it does have a nice feel to it, and you can see very clearly here through the mesh that it is easy to move your toes around and has a nice wide toe box. Of course, the plus side of that is that you can move your feet around. The downside of this mesh and kind of the lack of stability along the shoe means that if you are, kind of hitting switchbacks or things like that hard, and you're someone whose foot moves around or maybe has a narrower foot, you might wobble around a little bit inside of here. Laces are very standard, so it's not off width or anything like that. Just a simple extra stability here, or extra durability along the laces, so that you're not pulling too much on that mesh. The tongue is very simple, mid-weight, not light, not heavy, and also not gusseted, so it can let stuff in on the sides, but it's a pretty wide tongue, so it's covering down to about the middle of the shoe in terms of its width. So it should do a pretty good job of keeping stuff out. The heel collar is relatively well padded, so it's not, again, overly padded and not too far under padded. Along the rest of the shoe, you'll notice this kind of gray faux suede material, and that's just in place along the shoe. So there's not any mesh that's going directly to the midsole. There is, but it's covered up by this, so it should add some extra structure to the shoe and something that hopefully won't blow out as much as maybe an all mesh shoe might. And then just 3 hits in terms of reflective one at the front, at the toes, one here on the back, and then your Patagonia symbol here. In terms of the heel cup, there is a probably a piece of plastic in here that adds to that. It's not overly hard. As you can see, it can break down, but there's definitely something in there to keep some structure there. And then lastly is our midsole, or pardon me, insole. We have an insole here that is pretty lightweight. There's not a lot to it, but if you're someone that does custom orthotics, this is a wide shoe, and given that you have this, if you'd like to get something a little more low profile, you'll be able to do that with these. In closing, the Patagonia Forerunner is a no-frills shoe, coming in at a roughly 9 ounces or 4mm drop. Not a lot of overlays, relatively flexible, medium cushioning, good grip on the bottom. You get a lot of good stuff here in a lightweight package without really anything being too overdone. So, questions, comments, place those below this video. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.